Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry and Caleb here. Boomer, Caleb.
Boomer.
Rob is not on the DL. Just so you guys know, it's a short week for Oklahoma football and the Oklahoma football staff, support staff, talking about concessions and stadium. So, short week for Rob. He had the game last night, or Sunday night, and they're on Thursday night. They have Norman High, Norman North, so he's got to prepare for that. And then, of course, the game against one of the Dakotas.
Are you going to sell beer at the North High game?
No, I doubt it. But anyway, we are coming at you from the Podcast Palace in beautiful Norman, Oklahoma, where we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma, but we do have eligibility left. Make sure and hit your subscribe button to whatever app you're listening to us on. Also, check out our videos and subscribe to those on YouTube every Thursday night from Louis. It's Thursday night at Louis. And stop by there anytime. Also, check out our buddies from tailgateconnect.com, Dan Donnelly, the Tailgate Ninja. The UCLA tailgate that he is hosting for Sooners is sold out. But you can still catch some pretty cool stuff on his website. If you're planning on attending an away game or any game across the country, Dan can hook you up. Tailgate Connect can hook you up with the best tailgates across the country. Also, a shout out to Tailgater Radio. We appreciate being on their podcast and their episodes here recently covering the kickoff of college football. They were in town both Sunday, Sunday and the week before, visited with us, and they were around Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon early around all the tailgates, interviewing people. You can check that out when it comes out on tailgaterradio.com. We also want to give a big thanks to him, to Tailgater Radio and Dish Tailgate satellite services for hooking us up with them as part of their promotion of tailgating across the country. So when you come to our Tailgate Like a Champion, we will have the Dish Tailgater satellite that we will be watching games on. And if you don't have a ticket, you can come out and hang out at the tailgate and watch the game on the Dish Tailgater satellite. So it was a great weekend. So of course we're going to start off and talk about the Sooners' victory over the Houston Cougars, 49-31. Caleb, your thoughts on the game?
It was a great start. I mean, I was here at the house watching by myself, and I was just jumping up and down screaming. The first possession, 3 and out. That was nice to see. Was it first 3 possessions, 3 and out?
Yeah, sure was.
And then we scored right off the bat. After that, I mean, it was good to see. Like, pretty much, we all knew our offense would be good. It's just always nice to see it come together.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wasn't really ever worried about it, but it was just awesome to see it. And then the defense just being more aggressive, even giving up more stuff. Houston's a great team. Offensively, they're top 5 offense last year. They brought everyone back. That receiver they have is gonna be a NFL player. That guy is fast, and so I think how we played throughout the whole game, holding the 31 points. Or is that what it was? 31.
Yep, 31.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2 of those were in fourth time, garbage time touchdowns for them. So I mean, I thought it was almost a perfect game for us. There's a couple things, no turnovers. We didn't close out strong, but besides that, though, I thought it was almost like a perfect. And our kicker didn't make field goals, but besides that, there's 3 things. It was almost perfect. I mean, Jalen had one of the best games ever.
Yeah, so let's talk about Jalen real quick. Passing 20 of 23, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns with the longest of 56 yards. Rushing, he was the leading rusher with 16 attempts, 176 yards, 3 touchdowns. His longest was 43.
What was everyone else's rushing stats? And then we broke out a couple big ones.
Well, bottom line is Oklahoma rushed for 354 yards, averaging
9 yards a carry.
9.6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Trey Sermon, 11 for 96 yards, no TDs, 8.3 average, 31 yard long. Kennedy Brooks, 4 for 48. Let's see. His longest was 40, no TDs, 11.5 average.
Yeah.
Stevenson was 6 for 47 yards. Net, because he had a few for loss, 41 total yards, 1 TD, 25 yards long, 6.8 yards per average.
Yeah, and both Sermon and Brooks had 2 runs almost broke out for touchdowns that they're so close to getting there, but just got tackled out of bounds or something. But
yeah, well, I mean, let's face it, the offense, we knew, offensive line, I think overall did good.
the right side dominated.
Now
Pretty dominated right side. The left side, we're missing our starting tackle. So I mean, that's the only one that really struggled. But everyone else, I mean, there's pictures online today of like holes as big as a house that Jalen could run through.
Yeah.
So I mean,
well, let's face it, some of Jalen's runs, I mean, he said it in the post-game interview. Lincoln said it, they weren't design runs. They were, the option that he ran. But
sorry, we're watching the game live. Sorry.
Yeah, we're watching the Notre Dame Cincinnati game, but Notre Dame Louisville game right now. But some of those runs, let's face it, some of Kyler's weren't designed runs, but you take what the defense gives you. If everybody's covered up, or you see an opening that you can take. Jalen took them. I think he made the right decisions on most parts.
Bless you.
Sorry about that. The allergies are kicking my rear end this week.
They got me this weekend, and then so I guess they're going around everyone else.
But so overall, the offense dominated as we expected them to dominate. No big surprises. Nobody jumping out on the offensive side that did anything above average. I think Rambo.
Had some flashes. Hazelwood was the only receiver really for the freshman that did much. I mean, Bridges had a nice tackle on kickoff coverage, which is crazy. You have a 5-star receiver doing kickoff coverages, which is, but Hazelwood, I think, kind of showed that he's of all the freshmen, he's the one that's stood up the most so far, and he almost had a touchdown too. Yeah,
his 2 for 46. His long was 42 yards catch.
That was a nasty one, too. Went out there catching everything.
Rambo, when he flat out outran the Houston secondary on his long 56-yarder, caught it over in the middle and took off like a
rocket.
Yeah. Not quite the speed, but, he outran them. The big thing was the finish. I mean, he got clipped on the ankles, and he made sure and got the hand down and to keep his balance and get over into the end zone. So offensively, 56. What was this final score? Just went blank.
31.
I'm flipping through my charts here real quick.
49-31.
Yeah, 49-31.
If we make our field goals, we cover.
Yeah, that's another thing. We'll talk about field goals. I mean, Lincoln said afterwards that probably the first one was a bad decision on his part. 50-yard field goal.
First ever kick as a...
Yeah, to put him in a situation like that was probably not the smartest thing. He's going to have them anyway, but then he missed the next one. So I don't think Lincoln was overly concerned about it, but it is something I guarantee you
he's better make this next game.
Yeah, the Memorial Day celebration for our kickers was probably kicking field goals and extra points.
Do you think running backs are mad that Jalen's going to take all the running touchdowns in the red zone?
Nah.
I saw Joe Mixon making fun of him about that on Twitter.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's like, man, why is Jalen taking all the running backs? TDs. And then people said, like, well, Kyler's too small. He's like, well, Sam Bradford's bigger than both those guys. He didn't do that in the red zone.
Yeah.
This is joking around, but...
Well, I mean, they're taking what... folks got to remember, we haven't had a quarterback this big in
this
years.
Athletic, yeah.
And this athletic. So, Kyler Murray, if it was, first and goal on the one or third, you're not going to quarterback sneak Kyler Murray. Even on his best day, he's not tall enough to reach the ball over. You got somebody 6'2", as big as Jalen, you're going to sneak it. You're going to do what you can do.
I mean,
so,
we have him and that. What's the other running back? His name? That fumbled. Well, they both kind of fumbled. Those two guys in the backfield on the goal line, like that's pretty scary sight right back there. It's like maybe two biggest guys on the field. Stevenson. Yeah. So I mean, offense was great. I mean, not a surprise there. I mean, I think it might be a little surprising how great it was. But it's kind of like last year when Kyler had his first game back. It's just like you watch it, like, oh, as long as Lincoln's calling plays, they have nothing really to worry about.
Well, ESPN this morning on one of their shows had an analysis of Jalen Hurts, and their analysis is this is the best Jalen Hurts they've ever seen. You know, you're going to see. He, not that Alabama's offense or their coordinator, they didn't, wasn't good, but it's obvious that Lincoln Riley, you know, plays to the strength of the leader of his team, and which is his quarterback. And if you watch that, they show some of the stuff that we have talked about on the podcast before. There are plays designed to open up the field for one person, and one was basically a drag across the middle. It was a pass run option. The play was designed to go to CD dragging across, but if the linebacker takes him, Jalen takes off. So it's a pass quarterback draw option, and they break it down with the offensive lineman. When the offensive lineman sees that linebacker, Caleb, take CD Lamb, he takes off because he knows Jalen is running, and he goes and gets the safety. It's a 30, 40-yard run.
It's kind of like an impossible play. I mean, I know like what people were saying to that touchdown to CD too was also the setup the whole time. And that's why he was so. It wasn't busted coverage. It was just a wide open setup.
That was the design of the play.
I mean, they were baiting it, and then finally pulled it out. And that's why he was so open. Like everyone's like, "Oh, it's busted coverage."
No, that's what Lincoln wanted to happen.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I won 7. That's why everyone wants to come here, because Lincoln makes your job so much easier. It's so complex, but once you get it, like it just makes everyone's job easier. And I think that's why it takes a while for offensive linemen to get playing time. Like for the fact that Jalen picked up this offense that fast is pretty even more amazing. So I mean, but then again, Lincoln can make this offense around him too. But yeah, it was pretty much a perfect game from our offense. We had a couple of turnovers. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's the only thing. And missed field goals. But besides that, though, I mean, I think at one point we had like 500 yards to their 100 something. Like we outgained them by almost 400 yards at one point. So even though the score says as close as it really was, like if you watch that game, it's kind of like the Alabama game. Like the score wasn't as close as the game was. Like we just dominated the first half, and then they got hot in the second half.
Yeah. Well, you know, I came out of the stadium about halfway through the third quarter. The game was never in doubt, was never in question. Let's talk about the defense and the defensive performance. I don't think Grinch was 100% satisfied, nor should he ever be at this point, in my opinion. Me, I know I'm going to get heat for it, but I thought the defense was average at best. They looked exactly like they did against FAU last year. A good start. Everybody was excited. Everybody out there is excited to see the defense flying around, doing this, doing that. But to me, so far, game one, comparison to game one last year, same defense, same outcome. What are your thoughts, Caleb?
Right. The big difference is that this offense is a lot better than last year's FAU offense was. That King kid's one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and we made him not look that way. He had 50 total touchdowns last year. And he's actually good in the pocket, but we could put so much pressure on him. He missed a lot of throws. He was scrambling. There's stuff we're doing this year that we didn't do last year at FAU. We were seeing pressure. Our D-line was getting pressure by themselves. Kenneth Murray looked like a monster out there, which he had at some points last year, but this time he actually he ran down that kid. That kid's a fast kid. So, I mean, I see what you're saying, because I thought the same thing too, but I thought it was more just us closing. But the way we just played is a lot different from last year, because last year our defensive line wasn't dominating like they did, and like I said, the opponent makes a difference too, because they brought number 5 offense back in town with 11 out of 12 starters, and I think, like I said, pretty much for the whole game we kind of held them in check. The only thing they really could do on us was run. They couldn't throw on us, and when he did throw on us, it was on constant pressure the whole time.
Well, they ended up with 241 yards rushing. with 2 rushing TDs. With their passing game, they had 167. They were 14 of 27,
which is really good. I mean, that's for that kid. That's really good.
Oklahoma ended up with a total of 686 yards. Houston 408 yards. Again, I think I'm with you. A lot of it was trash yards at the end of the game, but still,
it's like even Grinch and like we said, we got closed better. So great. I mean, even Jalen after the game, like he sounded like he was sad after the game. Like you just have one of the greatest games ever. It's like, yeah, we didn't do enough right. We weren't doing this
sloppy.
right.
They were sloppy.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things I liked about at the end of it. On the sidelines, you saw, between plays, touchdowns, he was happy celebrating. He was the leader. But afterwards, it's not good enough. We're better than this. We got to clean up our act and play better.
Yeah, I mean, he knows what it takes to win. Like, he's done something we haven't done in 20 years. It's putting out a championship. So he knows what it takes. He knows what kind of moves to do to keep winning. But Murray said the same things too.
Yeah.
He said we started off great, we're gonna finish, and we gotta be better than that. And Jalen knows like this is a good first step, but we got a long ways to go to get where our end goal is. And he knows how good that Bama team is and how good that Clemson team is because he saw them firsthand. So
yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, it was a good start. First off, we'll get back onto the game. Let's talk a little bit about the pregame festivities that we had, our tailgate like a champion tailgate, of which you can check out on our website at www.soonerfootballfans.com. This past week, I don't know how many people we had. We want to thank everybody for coming out to tailgate like a champion on the corner of Jenkins and Brooks. Out there with a lot of great fans, a lot of great tailgates. I'm going to say we had 50 to 60 people come through on our.
I couldn't make it the whole time. I went out. I went a little crazy Saturday and Friday and Thursday, and the allergies and stuff hit me this weekend. I fought through it. I thought it was good, and then about 2 or 3 hours in, I was like, nope.
Yeah, Caleb
was shot down. I was like, all right.
Caleb was in the tent.
Ice
packs on him. We had to Uber him home.
Yeah, I got home. I got home right before kickoff though, so it wasn't like I wouldn't say much longer, but still, I knew it hit me out of nowhere. But I knew it might happen because, like I said, that whole weekend I was fighting allergies. I wasn't feeling 100%.
Yeah.
Then I woke up Sunday. I was like, I felt perfect, and then sure enough, it all hit me at once.
Yeah.
So that happens though.
Too much tail chasing on Saturday night.
Yeah. Well, everything tail chasing. It was just a fun weekend. A lot of people were in town. Everyone's just excited. So I mean, then Sunday was just like. It was hot, but wasn't too hot. The longer you get out there, it's hard work. Because we first got there, it's not that bad out here.
Yeah,
and it's just wearing on you, and the longer you stay out there. So
and you go around, you start milling around all the things going on around, everywhere. You got the game day stuff over on the North Oval, or excuse me, the North
Fan Fest.
Fan Fest over in front of the old field house. All the tailgates, everybody's welcome to all of them, and you move around. I don't because I'm over there hosting and people are coming up. And like I said, we had a whole bunch of people come by, and it was great sitting around talking Sooner football with everybody, expectations. We had people from Arizona, Jersey. Again, yes, Bill, we had some folks from Jersey there. Of course, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Texas. So, some people, it was their first tailgate, and it was a great experience for them. They came out. We had some good burgers, good food, cold drinks. Next week's tailgate is at the same space, and we'll be doing soft tacos
nice.
For next week's tailgate.
We had a Texas fan wearing an OU shirt. Got one of my best friends. He's a Texas fan, but he's a graduate from OU. He was rocking a nice OU coach's polo.
Yeah.
Which during Texas week he won't be wearing that, but we got pictures to show otherwise that he's really an OU fan deep down, like he knows he is.
Yeah. So what did you think? First off, the whiteout wasn't a complete whiteout because
Houston
fans were, their team colors are red, so there was a couple of corners in red. What did you think about the whiteout? I mean, everybody. I was surprised.
I wasn't surprised. People were saying they didn't think they were going to do it. it's much harder to strike the stadium than to do the whiteout. Strike the stadium because you have to get organized and everything. So
Right.
like for us to do that every time, like whiteouts can be easy.
Yeah.
Because strike the stadium is like you have to be. Everyone has to look at what they're sitting at, make sure like what color they are. So I mean, so I wasn't worried at all about us not doing the whiteout. I thought maybe like a couple people are stubborn that wouldn't do it, but I thought it looked awesome, especially on TV. Like it looked awesome on TV.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was watching the game from the house, and the place was rocking for the first quarter and a half. I mean, that place was going crazy. Had beer? Did you see a lot of beer there inside the stadium?
There was. I mean, I didn't buy any. We went in. We have our new seats, section 17, row 1. And I was honestly I was a little disappointed in our seats, not the location. But I guess the university is not finished with that section. It's supposed to be chair back with companion seating for or excuse me, a blank space with a chair back companion seating. Meaning, we sit in the ADA for Teresa because she has a speedy little scooter that we take in now. But there were no chair backs there, and it was mainly just folded chairs. Not everybody was. Let's just say they didn't need ADA seating. So I don't know if the university sold them because I understand that point. Nobody took them, so they sold them, and they're new. But I was a little disappointed that it wasn't finished. I didn't have my own chair back. I just had a folding chair, which was cool. I was right in front of the gate, was where they told me to sit at, that comes onto the stadium there. And then I had a guy tell me I stood up and I was on the step. The security guy told me I couldn't stand on the step. And I'm like, dude, this is my seat. My seat is part of the step. So, but that's a little bit. The one thing, man, that you will not believe, Caleb, is when I looked at it, the
goodness.
tunnel to go to the seating, they had to dig. I mean, it is high end. They had to dig a hole into that stadium and into the ground to put the ramp down, to get the ramp to come out of it.
Can you see the lights and like music, hear the music and stuff in there?
Yeah, but I mean, the cool thing is we had our own concession stand, so there was, nobody else gets to go down there because it's that section seating.
Nice.
No lines at the bathroom. It was,
Sounds like you have a nice
yeah,
setup.
like a VIP setting, man. You
so
go.
If you did want a beer, it was pretty easy to get beer and stuff then too.
No, they don't sell beer. They didn't sell beer there.
Yeah, they walk around and get some.
Yeah, you had to go out to. But they had waters and popcorn. Your normal stuff. Not
nothing too crazy.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, but. Didn't have to stand in line for the bathrooms. The bathrooms were single use with a door lock. So, it was, kind of a little VIP. You go into the tunnel and it's a big, foyer down there for you to go. But, really nice setup. Like I said, little disappointed.
I don't
think it's just finished yet. I don't think they got it finished. So, also, if you noticed, I looked around, all the aisles now have handrails. Did you know that? Mm-mm. Yeah, that's one of the things they did this year.
I know the seats are wider. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, not really. There was I can't think of his name now. Posted a picture on our Facebook page. His seat was literally an inch wider than his cell phone because there were two people that had seat cushions on either side of him, and his seat was literally his number, and it was
right.
Yeah. That's what they were supposed to do. They lowered the seating capacity by making the seats wider to enhance the fan experience and make it more comfortable. You're still crammed in like a.
Doesn't matter. Even they say that, but they still want to get more money for ticket sales. But I saw the atmosphere there was really crazy too, though, because I think I've been a lot of game dates like that. It feels a little different this year. It's like there's something in the air. I guess everyone's just maybe it's Grinch being hired. It just sounds like this feels a little different. Everyone's kind of counting us out. It's always gonna be Bama. It's gonna be Clemson. Then normally what people think is gonna happen doesn't ever happen.
Yeah.
So I think there's just a feeling around this team that something's different this year. We've been close the last 2 years. I think we know what we need to do to finish it, and I think the fans kind of get that same feeling too.
Yeah.
because this is probably the most upbeat and positive I've seen OU fans in a while.
On that, I mean, it was crazy. It seemed like, like on that point, it seemed like there were people there earlier than normal. And our tailgate kicked off at 1:00, and I'm telling you, it was like 2:33, and you were still there. Were thousands of people down there.
Yeah,
it was elbow to elbow people at the tailgate, at other tailgates. I don't know if it's because it's a holiday weekend and it was a Sunday. It was what the difference was, but it was a festive atmosphere in Norman, and it was, like Caleb said, it wasn't hot. It was humid, but there was no freaking wind.
There was no wind. That didn't help at all. Yeah, you just sitting there. Like I said, when you first got there, it didn't feel that bad. Then when you're out there for like an hour, 2 hours, that's when.
And you're walking around.
Down, yeah.
Our tailgate is underneath the shade and the trees. So if we got out in the sun, it was hot. I never got overly hot except when I was loading and unloading the tailgate and setting everything up, which is why I brought like 3 different shirts to wear because I soaked all 3 of them. It was, you're right. It was the atmosphere around the game on Sunday was something different, something different in the air, and I can't put my finger on it.
I think a lot of people just kind of know you out, and I think there's something with this team, the way they talk, how they are handling everything. It's just like there's something just feels different with this team than the last couple of years. Like I felt a little bit with Baker's team, but they haven't done anything yet. But that's the first year they broke through kind of and be a big team. Last year I think was kind of was supposed to be a rebuilding year, kind of. But Kyler was just so great that it didn't matter because I think our defense was still so young last year that we should have lost a lot of games that we didn't lose. We didn't lose because the Kyler was that good. Like this year, it just feels like maybe our most complete all around. Like maybe with their defense, and I don't know. It just feels weird. There's something about this team this year that it's just like the defense has a little swagger to them. Just like even though they know they haven't done anything, they just like it just feels different for some reason. And like the fans kind of feel it too. It's crazy. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not buying in yet still.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will admit that the atmosphere is a little different than
it was the game day atmosphere was something that I hadn't seen in a while. You're right. There was something in the air. Like I said, there were people are milling around always before games, but it was extra early. There were people, by 2:30, 3:00, 3 hours before the game. It was packed down there around the stadium with the tailgates and people just walking around, over at the game day festivities. Fan Fest, what is that called? I can't remember.
It's called Fan Fest. I think that's what it's called right
there. Fan Fest over there. It was just, and maybe that's why. Maybe because they moved it to the stadium instead of in the parking lot over there. Maybe it made it more centralized for more people to come.
It's more kid friendly too, so families could get out there earlier.
Because it was in the parking lot over there at Jenkins and Brooks, and now they put it in front of the old field house. Maybe that's why it was more. More packed around there because I went over to Fan Fest a couple of times last year and it didn't seem like there was a lot of people there because it was kind of out of the way. You didn't know where it was at. So
they're in front of the stadium and also there's radio going out there too. So I mean, there's just a lot more going on, I guess, out there. And it was just a cool atmosphere. I think the whiteout part to do with it too, because everyone was all participating in that too. So I mean, it was fun. Like I said, I had a little bit too much fun. I wasn't like really drunk either. I was just felt weird. I didn't feel right. So I mean, I think my body just gave up on me. Like the allergies found like they took over and everything else just gave up on me. But it's fine. Yeah,
I was the same way. My allergies and they're the same today. My head's all stopped up. My throat's kind of scratchy. Yesterday my chest was congested, and I thought, man, I better not be getting.
I was worried. I thought I was getting sick. I woke up Friday and I was like, I'm sick right now. I was so angry. And then I took some allergy medicine. I felt a little bit better, but I mean, all weekend long though, I was fighting it. And then I finally felt somewhat okay yesterday. And I just pushed myself too hard for not being 100% pretty much, I guess, which happens. So I mean,
but overall, I'm happy with the win. Anytime you go out and you have a dominant performance, and let's face it, Houston's not a great team, but it was a good team.
They're a great offense, not a good team. Bad defense. They have an elite offense. I mean, they're a Big 12 team, classic, whatever we want to see. Like, what makes me nervous about this OU team? We might get tested twice by defensive team, and probably both beat Texas. And so we probably won't be tested again until the Texas game, which makes me nervous though, because we might either we really hopefully have a crap ton of confidence going in that game, and we carried that in, or we could like last year, the game before we play bad, because then we have Tech before that, so we'll know a lot about our defense there too. But it's now pretty much we got Dakota this week, and then UCLA, and then bye, and then Tech. So I mean, not really tough, not the toughest competition coming up, but hopefully we can build more confidence and we just keep looking better and better.
Yeah, I mean, first game, I was, like I said, I'm thrilled with the first game. Win.
Should have covered.
It was
make field goals, we cover. If we don't fumble the ball, we cover.
Yeah. I never worry about covering. I mean, I just want to win, and we came close to what wasn't as close as what I predicted, that's good because I didn't want it that close.
You thought me and Rob were being too nice with the defense stops.
Yeah, well, I still think you're being too nice with the defense. I mean, they haven't really done anything yet. So let's talk about the Big 12 real quick.
10-0.
They were 10-0.
Yep. On every game.
They didn't look good doing it though.
Well, no conference really looked good this weekend.
The one that stood out, I guess, Iowa State slipped by.
Mm-hmm. They show a lot. Northern Iowa doesn't go for it in second overtime. To me, blows my mind.
Yeah,
they deserve to lose that game. They've only scored one offensive touchdown the whole game. That was in the second overtime. And then the coach, it's like, oh, you kick the field goal. It's like, yeah, let's go. It's like, you only scored once on offense. And you expect to win. Like, you have the ball on 2-yard line, go for it. You have nothing to lose. That made no sense to me. Like, I was happy that they lost right there. I was kind of because I was just so dumb. Like, you're on the road against a ranked opponent, and you can finish the game out right there, and you don't. Apparently, Baylor was really impressive. I didn't see their game because they're playing against Sam Houston State or something like that. Texas was impressive. I watched a little bit of their game. Like, they just put a beat down, pretty much turned that off at third or fourth drive. Because it was just you just knew right then it was going to be over pretty fast.
So you're saying Terry Bradshaw was wrong?
Oh, yeah. It was dead wrong. I mean, Texas, it was a beatdown from the get-go pretty much. And then, because we turned it off to put the Oregon game on because that was more entertaining. Who else was there? Apparently Tech looked pretty good. What are the scores everyone else? I don't know all the other scores.
I don't know what the scores were. I just know that
Kansas won. I know they went very impressively, but they won, so that's a win. OSU looked pretty good. That quarterback, it's gonna be pretty scary. That Sanders kid.
Yeah.
So.
Well, but it was too. They were playing, the worst Pac-12 team.
I was hoping that Gundy would make a mistake and not start that kid because there's a reason why that everyone went after that kid in the country. He was one of the top recruits in the country. I was hoping Gundy was gonna mess it up because that kid. They have probably arguably the best receiver in the Big 12 and arguably the best running back in the Big 12. And that quarterback is no joke either. He can run and he can throw it. But their problem is their defense. But still, that OSU game got more intriguing because I was hoping that Gundy would mess that up. But they looked really good though. Offensively, their defense, they have a lot more questions to answer because Oregon State was doing a lot while they wanted pretty much on offense. Kendall looked decent, I guess. He struggled for a little bit, but Austin Kendall.
Yeah.
But I think West Virginia might be the worst team in the league. So. I don't think they're very good at all.
Well, my final thoughts on the game Saturday was Jalen Hurts is better than what we expected. This offense, like what we've said and like what I said. Well, I'm just going to say what I've said is I'm not worried about the offense. The offense is always going to click. It's got a lot of weapons. Our offensive line will eventually come around and be better and better every game.
You have too much talent on the offensive line for it not to get better and
better. The defense was about what I expected. Average, good. Was happy with the performance, but it's a long season for those guys, and they have a lot to make up.
They get sacks though. I think we had 11 sacks last year. I think we had 2 or 3 sacks last night alone. So
yeah.
I mean, they had a lot of stuff that they haven't done. Like I said, it wasn't like the greatest performance, but they did stuff that they haven't done. You can tell a difference, but they just got to keep doing it because it doesn't matter if they look good this week. They go out next week and give up a lot of garbage touchdowns. It's going to be the exact same thing. I think right now their confidence is a little overly confident yet because they know it's just 1 week. Because last year they looked good the first 3 games and then they fell apart. So
let's face this week's game against one of the Dakotas is going to be a sleeper. I mean, it's pay-per-view.
It's during the Texas LSU game.
Yeah, so it's going to be over in the first quarter. And
hopefully see Spencer Rattler this game. Hopefully. They kept showing him on TV too. They kept talking about him a lot on TV.
Oh,
too.
did they?
Yeah, they kept talking about him. Talk about him and the freshman. Of course, Hazel was one they focused on the most because he was one out there the most. But I mean, like I said, Trajan Bridges got a tackle on special teams, which was crazy. He also got laid out too. The late hit, that flag, that was a penalty, that was on him. But I mean, this week's got. This next honestly 2 weeks. I mean, UCLA, I guess it's different because they're UCLA, but boy, they played on Thursday night. Like we should go in there and put stomping on them too. But this week's gonna be interesting. I mean, this week nationally, there's a lot better games going on.
Yeah, except for ours.
Yeah. We had one of the best games last week, which is kind of sad because it's Houston. But we had a top 5 game last week. This week we have probably one of the bottom 5 games.
Yeah. So and then we got UCLA, which apparently is going to be a bottom 5 game because they.
We'll see this week. They just don't. Chip has his players still. I mean, he's still rebuilding that team. Moore left it in a bad spot. So they look terrible against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Really bad.
So, anyway, any other thoughts, Caleb, on the?
You going for who you rooting for in Texas LSU game?
LSU.
For LSU.
Yeah.
You see the.
Oklahoma needs Texas to win. So there's that, but I never want Texas to win. And really, it's really hard because I don't like either team. So I really don't care. Now that you made me think about it, I don't care. It'll be
a fun game.
It'll be a fun game.
LSU looked really impressive too, against nobody, but still they put up 50-something points for LSU to do that. I don't care who they're playing against. It's still, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to see the game. Honestly, OU game played at the same time, but OU game be over within two possessions. Like the LSU game might be a barn burner. Hopefully Texas embarrass us, the Big 12. You never know.
Yeah.
So I want to say one more thing, but I'm trying to remember.
Can't come up with anything else.
I just thought of something, but I forgot about talking about Texas.
But no, it was a great start to the season. A Sooner win is a Sooner win, and I'll take 12 of them all season long.
Be nice to go undefeated for once.
Yeah.
We're undefeated in a long time.
Yeah. And it'd be nice to win a postseason game that means something.
Yeah,
2 of them actually. So
it's been 20 years since like I said, half the kids on campus weren't alive yet last time we won. So I'm excited for this year. I've been excited, and so this week not much. This week hopefully we come on next week and let's have nothing much to say pretty much because that's what it should be. So hopefully we won't pull a Tennessee.
We'll never pull a Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, they were number 9 overall. Number 9 best program of all time.
Yeah.
And were we number 10 according to SI?
Yeah. No idiots there.
Yeah.
So, well, tomorrow night we will be, or tonight, since this podcast will be out on Tuesday, we'll be at Rudy's for the coaches show tomorrow night or tonight. We'll be there probably by 6 p.m. So if it's a great place to go to check stuff out and to hear the coaches' comments. So make sure and swing out, and if you want to join us, we'll have our spot. But that's the podcast for today. Boomer, Caleb.
Boomer.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans, and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.